Hello again, I am Jim Bob and welcome back to some more of our Cleanup Crew Challenge here for Green Cities on City Skylines PS4. Right, last time out we laid down some basic framework for an expansion all the way through here. If we take a look at our situation, you can see we're up to over 43,000 people now. We're closing in on the next milestone, which is 48,000 people, and that will unlock an extra tile, which is important because we need this tile here so that we can gain access to the freeway and bring a connection in down towards this part here, so we can spread the traffic flow a little bit better. We can get traffic going out this way, and more importantly, we can get traffic, not having to cut through the entire city to get down to this section down here. So just another, well, less than 5,000 people now needed, and then that will be sorted. That's good to see. And we also have a bit of demand, as you can see, for housing, which is important again, because if we're going to grow our city in terms of population, we need to have that desire for people to actually move in. We still need to worry about making sure that we have suitable jobs being put in place, though. If we take a look at our info, our electricity is running a little bit low. We're borderline risking brownouts at the moment. We'll have to deal with that in a moment. If we take a look at our citizens, you can see unemployment has crept back up to 9%. Let's just check our education levels. Not enough people getting the chance to go through elementary school at the moment. Not overly concerned by that in some respects, because we do have a lot of jobs over here that do require a lack of employment. Also a lack of education. So if we click on this job here, for example, you can see there are 16 uneducated jobs available. So again, it's not a major issue. What I may well do as well is I may possibly look at relocating a school from over here, perhaps somewhere over here, to try and encourage a lack of education in one of these areas, to boost stuff over here. But look how much traffic is starting to affect our farm. It is a huge volume of traffic. We do kind of need to get another transport link in, and that again is another reason why I want this access here, so that you can see we have this access road here. This is going to be running up to the freeway there, and I'd like to have another connection from the farm over to the freeway over there, again to disperse the traffic a bit more evenly and stop it all from just queuing up just here. That's kind of the plan, the hope, the desire, etc. There's no point changing things too drastically over here. I suppose we could go to a triple lane, depending on how that traffic wants to kind of disperse itself. Let's just see if that does actually make a difference. We go to upgrades, and let's put in with trees as well to cut down on the noise. And let's see if we get traffic stacking up in all three lanes, or if it's just going to stack up in the two lanes. Because the problem we're getting at the moment is we're just clogging up the roundabout. A lot of traffic wants to sort of turn to the right, and it just holds everything else up. Maybe this will speed things up a little bit. I mean, to be fair, it's not a major issue if we do hold up traffic here, because it's unlikely that a lot of stuff is going to be wanting to come in this way to then go off this way. We're going to get a little bit of traffic doing that, but it's mostly going to be agricultural traffic that's using that second turn off on the roundabout there. That and sort of trash trucks, etc. Although having said that, as the traffic flows a bit better, we are seeing a few vehicles going straight on. And again, if we had the lane management mod available on consoles, then we could be sort of splitting the traffic here so that we could control what goes in there and what goes around the side to the next junction there, so we wouldn't get civilian traffic queuing up in that lane. I've been resisting the urge, well, not necessarily the urge, but I've been resisting making the roundabout 3 lanes, but I think I may possibly have to, just on this stretch here. which is going to make the roundabout look a little bit odd, a little bit misshapen. But let's just see what that looks like if I were to put an extra lane in there and have a guaranteed, dedicated lane just for turning into the estate. Would that sort of move our traffic around a little bit better, perhaps? And to complement that, I'm also going to extend that to 2 lanes there, in the hope that maybe anything that is getting held up can just sort of bypass and go around. Well, it looks as though simply just sticking in triple lane here might have actually alleviated some of that issue, but we'll leave it like that for now. There we can see actually it is kind of working the way we were hoping. I may possibly even do that as well. Do I go the whole hog over here? I might as well just go the whole hog, mightn't I? And make that a triple roundabout all the way around. There we go. Right, so we've got a little bit of repair work to do just here on the zoning. There we go. That seems to be holding up nicely. Again, still very, very busy around here, but that's kind of to be expected. I'm just looking to see if we can maybe make a slight change. And without ripping out half of what we've got, there doesn't seem to be an easy way to do that. I was thinking about maybe taking this junction out completely, just to allow traffic to flow a little bit better. But again, I'm hopeful that getting access to this tile and being able to spread traffic out in different directions like that to get back to the freeway, I'm hoping that that will help alleviate some of the queues down this end of the estate as well. So, now that we've done that, you can see our housing demand has kind of fallen away. We did have a little bit of extra housing that we were waiting, I think, to be fulfilled. Let me see if I can figure out where that was. I know we added in a bit of housing over here, which also needs repairing a little bit. So take out these affected houses. And here as well, look. Some strange little choices. Let's take that one out as well. Why do we have houses there? We shouldn't have houses there. Take those out. Take out that power line. And I can restore that to a proper sized tile as well. There we go. Alright, now let's start to zone stuff in over here. So, as we saw, unemployment's starting to creep back up again, so we need to make sure we have plenty of jobs for whatever we do put in down here. Now, this ribbon all the way through here, this is pretty much going to be residential through here. We'll have little bits of commercial interspersed, but we do want to have a little bit of a hub over here for business, and also, I think, for maybe a little bit of shopping as well. We'll start putting in some office stuff first. Did I put piping in? Let's just check. No, I didn't. So we need to do the water supply first. So that's left over, I think, from when we had water pumps over here. We're going to take out this old piping, and we're going to rebuild it. Try and keep things nice and clean with the grids if we can. So we're going to just extend the grid network that we had from there. And then we can use this again as a reference point. That is connected, yes, good. Now, obviously this is a bit of a strange angle at the moment, but we are going to be extending beyond this side of the road as well into this open space over here. So it looks a little bit of a strange decision with the piping at the moment, but I'm not too concerned about it going forward, because I know that we are going to be pushing out, and I want to keep that nice uniform neatness to our pipes as well where we can. Just going to connect all of these pipes together like that, and then the hope is that I can translate that across here. This is just going to be a temporary bit of piping, I think, to work as a guide point, and then this will become the new corner piece over here. There we go, that's what I was trying to do. Excellent stuff. And then again over here, because again we'll be expanding along here as well. Just try and keep everything neat and organised. Oh, and that actually joins up perfectly on that junction. Lovely stuff. Right, over here again you can see it's a little bit of a mess of pipes as they're all coming in at different angles, and we've got this little curve and kink here. So we'll try and keep it nice and simple with a little bit just there. And then we'll take out the unnecessary underwater pipe just there. That one's going to need to go back in, isn't it? To there. And across there as well. Alright, so we have water through here. We need a little bit more on this side. Again, I'm going to do a preparatory pipe. It's going to be a while until we need most of that, but having that coverage there is important because, as I say, this is going to be quite a big expansion over here. So I'm actually going to extend our breach this way a little bit, because I may well be adding more grids in here as well quite soon. So now that we have the water set up, let's go ahead and start zoning in the offices. And because we have a depot here that's going to be quite noisy, I don't really want to have any houses around here. I also think this is perfect opportunity for some waterfront offices along here. Like so. I also like the idea of this road here being a commercial road that runs through. So I'm going to zone in some commercial along here. See stuff starting to move in already. Let's just see what the impact is of those. We also need to make sure we have services down here. So let's start with healthcare. Nearest health centre is there. There's one over there. So we kind of want one, I think, a bit more centrally over here. I think maybe on this part here, on the edge of our sort of office block. This would be a good place between offices / commercial and our residential. This would be a good place for us to add in our supporting services, so police, fire, etc. Fire just there. And then we'll put police on the opposite side of the road, just there. So there we go, we've got those in place. We're also going to need improved death care coverage. So let's get another cemetery in place. It won't quite fit in that gap, but it will sit quite nicely here. And of course, we want our supporting crematorium alongside that as well. Or at least nearby. Let's place that next door like that. Lots and lots of happy smiley faces as a result of our recent additions over here. We do need some power, but that'll come to us naturally. We want some parks in place to improve everything around here. I'm going to go with a plaza. It's just what I usually like to put in when we have business parks or retail parks. I like to use plazas instead of just basic parks. Just think they look more in place, I think. And then we want let's put a park in here as well if we can. Just place that there. And then you can see that links to both sides there. So we've got a nice little cut through a park, which is quite nice. Everything's zoning in quite nicely. We're going to want education down here as well. I'm going to go with a new elementary school over here. I can find the right spot. Yep, that works very nicely just there. We'll have an Institute of Creative Arts behind it. There we go. And we'll put maybe just a small row of shops here. Like that. And then we want to start dropping in accommodation in the surrounding area. Again, we'll need to add in a few more parks, etc. along the way, but this is a nice little start for us. I'm going to leave that one blank just there deliberately. I don't want to get too close to the school, I'm thinking noise wise, and we are going to want accommodation along here as well. I might actually cancel those ones, put some shops in just here. Again, I'm wary of the noise and potential pollution of our depot just there. There we go. There's still a demand for offices, look. So let's try and find some space for a few more of those. Around here. Don't want to do this bit here as well, perhaps. No, I want to put some offices in here around the back of the tram lines. Just off this main road, a nice little sort of business area just there. Because again, we've got noise here. And we've also got the tram line behind us. And a busy-ish kind of road, so it just makes sense to fill this space here with offices as well, so it's less susceptible to noise pollution issues. There we go. So just waiting for that demand for housing to come back. We're up to 46,000 people in the city now, which is really good to see. While that's loading up or zoning in, let's take a look over here. Oh, that roundabout's running so much smoother now we made those choices, isn't it? It doesn't look as nice, but it runs a lot smoother. Still a little busy over here, but you can see having that extra lane is helping disperse the traffic into the estate a little bit easier. We are still getting the occasional tailback, but with traffic able to skip into that centre lane on the roundabout there, it does mean that residential traffic is getting held up a lot less on its way into Smithson Street there. So not perfect, needs a little bit of improvement, but it is starting to get there. It's this junction here that's causing the problems. Like I said, I would like to gain access to the freeway over here as quick as we can, and we're almost there. We need 48,000 people, so we need, what, 1,700 people? Oh, big fire over here. Huge fire. All those trees that we placed in here to try and quell that noise has just started spreading to all these buildings. You can see, obviously we have our fire engines attending en masse, but we also have our emergency helicopter service in there to try and damp out the tree fires as well. And here come a whole load more fire engines making their way into the estate. I'm hopeful we can save everything. Move out the way, trash truck. There we go. And yet more fire engines come swarming in. This is perhaps the problem with just single carriageway through here, is that it does sometimes mean that stuff has to wait a long time to get where it needs to go. But we saved everything. Nothing burnt down and had to be destroyed, which is excellent stuff. And of course, you know, those buildings will regenerate. The trees will eventually grow back, and that area will start looking very nice and lovely again, as opposed to slightly singed and a little bit burnt in places. How are we doing over here? We've got some stuff spawning in, but there's still no power. So before it starts to dezone, let's add in some temporary power lines along the bottom. And let's pause for a second. I've got stuff zoned through here, but again, it's housing. There's no real demand for that just yet. Actually, I'm going to take the power lines out from here. I think I just accidentally dezoned something. Nope, I'm okay. I'm going instead take those out as a temporary measure and run power there. And the reason I took that out is because obviously we're reducing the zoning available by doing that, and I don't want those houses to be stunted unnecessarily. So once we get enough demand for housing, we will take those lines out and we'll drop in zoning through there, and they will then form the natural bridge connection that we need for the power. Right, let's check our unemployment levels again. %19%. How has it suddenly rocketed up to 19% with all those new jobs that we've created? Unless we just don't have enough educated people to work those jobs, maybe. That might be the issue, actually. People employed, jobs available, unemployment at 19%. Oh, well, wait, no, we've got 15% of our population are seniors. So that's probably another reason why we've got high unemployment. We've got high senior numbers. If some of those start to die off, then employment will go back, or the employment number will get better again, I think. Unless, are they actually counted? I'm not certain if if seniors are counted in the unemployment figures. Because if you look at the people employed and the jobs available, we've actually got jobs waiting. Unemployment should be going down. High school is now struggling to actually meet capacity. We're just about holding on. Elementary school is slightly underperforming. University is fine. We're about to overrun our capacity, I think. Yeah, there we go. So, is our our education budget maxed out? It is. So we're going to need more schools by the look of it. I don't really want to drop more schools in just yet. And I'm curious as to where all these new people are going in. I'm guessing in the last batch of housing zoning that we put in. Maybe around here. Maybe buildings are levelling up through here. Do we have schools over here actually? Let's click on a small school. We have an elementary school there. See, we have excellent coverage. I suppose we could stick another high school somewhere over here, but it's finding the right spot for it. Actually, we don't have a high school anywhere nearby here, do we? Okay, so we do need to deal with that. Alright, let's plonk a high school in here. There. So that should improve our education numbers a lot better for high school. Now you can see we've got an extra 1,000 capacity on what we had before. Still slightly below on elementary schools. Where can we add another one? Try to avoid putting in an elementary school over here simply because of the farm. I guess maybe somewhere over here. Again, there's nothing built up over here at the moment, so it might not seem like the ideal place for it, but I'm not quite sure where else to do it. Just place a pair of schools in there, and then we've got good coverage all around, I think. There we go. Population up to 47,000. Unemployment still 19%. We still need a ton more jobs. Okay. We are adding people in at an alarmingly fast rate, despite none of them actually moving into the zoning that I've created for them. And now our power is struggling. Yeah, we knew that that was an issue, and I forgot about it. These are putting out 80 each. These are putting out 240 each. Logic would suggest that we put another one of these, wouldn't it? To give us a bit more reserve power. Close to getting an ocean thermal plant as well. How much do they generate? 480. Ooh, that's a lot. No, we'll go with another updraft tower. This is going to need to be roadside, isn't it? Alright, that's an issue. probably going to need an extra trash truck place as well. So, I'll tell you what, it'll help. Let's throw in an extra pair. Won't quite fit. Let's see if I can really squeeze an extra one of these in. Not quite, not without reworking the street, but I'll do that. Right, road. There we go. If you remember, we kind of just threw this in just as a test, and it kind of worked. There we go. So those extra trash trucks will also, I hope, help us out, both in terms of trash and a little bit of extra power. They will chip in some extra power to the network. We've got plenty of budget that we can play about with as well. So that puts our power situation... Where is power? At the top. Back into the very healthy again, look. Oh, very, very healthy. Yeah, that's better. Consumption seems to have dropped off quite dramatically. Not quite sure why. We still need a lot more jobs. I'm starting to struggle to think where we can add a lot more employment without crippling an area. Let's throw some more in here. We haven't really finished developing this area over here, have we? Keep the rest of that available there for housing. Same over here. We can drop in some extra zoning along here. And finish the other side off with a bit more commercial. There we go. So that'll build that area up a little bit more. Don't want to do anything over here until we've got access to this tile, because this is going to be our main route in. So that's going to get upgraded to 2 lanes, and that's going to go out towards the highway and join over there. We're about to hit 48,000 people, which is the next milestone. Still, no one moving into these houses over here. So where are all these extra houses going? Or where are all these extra people going? There we go. Good stuff. Let's buy the tile. Brilliant stuff. Now we can put in a connection over here for the farm. It also opens up the possibility of expanding the farm out here as well. Look, make it a huge area, but I think Chester Farm is probably big enough right now. I'm going to have to rebuild the highway over here, I think. Right, so let's pause. And let's take this highway out completely. See, we've got uneven ground, we've got no real straight periods for us to line up with. So we get rid of all of this and build a level and smooth highway connection. It'll really improve our traffic situation, I think. Roads are even coming in at different angles, look. Oh, left a piece of road out in the middle of nowhere. Right, I think what I might possibly do is I might just be a little lazy this time and just pick one of these intersections. And then just work the highway onto that. The question is, where do I place it? Do I go with two? No, we'll go with this one here, I think. Actually, no, two junctions might be a good idea. One for the farm. Slope's too steep over here, look, you see. That's the issue that we've been worried about. So, the slope is too steep. Let's flatten it. Not enough soil. This is where it gets tricky. Trying to balance the slope without making it really, really difficult to get in and out off the junctions. Need to steal from here. Oops. From where we're built up. Do it in a slightly wobbly, organic-y kind of way. To then redistribute it over this way. And we're ending up with quite a steep slope over here, which we've then got to try and lower down over there. But yeah, we can put a nice little bridge down and a windy road. We can also smooth the terrain out as well. Like this. So you can see, obviously, as we pushed into that, we created quite a steep little bit of the slope just here. We can drag this out again. Smooth that out. Alright, so let's go ahead and put that other slip road in. Zoom out so I can check the angle. Okay, that's fine. I'm going to be taking those out, actually, before I do that. Try and smooth this off a little bit. The reason I'm doing this now before I delete the other road is I'm worried that I'm not going to be able to draw a straight line coming off there. So at least I've got a reference point for the road alongside. So you can see it's going to want to try and go off either on that angle or that angle like that. And this is why I wanted a parallel straight line like this. There. Shallower incline than the other one. And now I can try and smooth it out a little bit on that side as well. Stretch the road out a bit more. Smooth away. Gonna need to take some more soil from over here, I think. There we go. Just to stretch this out a bit. Again, I'm going to build a guide road like that. So back to landscaping. Just continue to stretch this out just a little bit. Immediately start to slope this down a bit. What I find is a quicker way to do it is to just kind of raise and lower bits of the terrain in certain places. That's not worked at all, has it? There we go. We need to lower the terrain down here. It's too high. I'm trying to keep that gradient relatively controlled. Alright, that's a decent start. So now I can put the roads back in. And there is the reason why I have my guide road in. Keep everything nice and neat like that. There we go. So we have that one in place. We need to go freeform now. And connect these up. Oh, come on, give me the straight line. There we go. There we go, that's that side done, and then same over here. We need a nice smooth transition. It's not particularly smooth, is it? Let's take this road out. Try that again. Let's put marker roads in. Let's take the whole thing out and start again, actually. Start with some straight road. Just a little bit, but enough to create some straight lines, edges to work with. Now if we go to freeform, slightly kinked. There we go. That's close enough. It's not quite perfect, but it's better than it was. And there we go. We just need to connect up on this side. This is going to be a bit trickier, because it's a bit more of a mess over on this side. There we go, but there we go. We have created our nice new piece of highway. Need to bring this connection down over here. We need to bring this connection down over here. So I'm probably going to have a big roundabout in somewhere, which will split off between joining our extension of stuff that will stick in over here, and obviously feeding this industrial estate as well. And we'll do all that next time out, because once again we've run out of time. So that's it from me. Thanks for watching. I am Jim Bob, and I'll be back with some more City Skylines Green Cities Cleanup Crew Challenge here on the PS4 very soon.